Welcome. Today our discussion is on fundamental principles of international humanitarian law. International humanitarian law (IHL) is the branch of international law. IHL seeks to impose limits on the destruction and suffering caused by armed conflict. Limiting destruction and suffering establishes, in the words of Article 22 of the Hague Regulations, that the right of belligerents to adopt means of injuring the enemy is not unlimited. There are four principles of international humanitarian law. These are the principles of humanity. This forbids the infliction of all suffering, injury, and destruction not necessary for achieving the legitimate purpose of a conflict. Principle 2. The principle of distinction between civilians and combatants, and between civilian objects and military objectives. Article 48 and 52 of Additional Protocol 1, the Geneva Conventions. It describes combatant and military objects that can be lawfully attacked. Any direct attack against a civilian or civilian object is not only a violation of IHL but also a grave breach. The principle of proportionality. It says prohibits attacks against military objective expected to cause incidental loss of civilian life, injury to civilians, damage to civilian objects, or a combination. Excessive in relation to the concrete and direct military advantage anticipated. The fourth principle, the principle of military necessity. This limit to achieve the legitimate aims of the armed conflict. It acknowledges that winning the war or battle is a legitimate consideration. Thanks to all for joining in the discussion on fundamental principles of humanitarian law. Thanks. We will discuss on this again in next days.